So, Coca-Cola, founded in 1886. I could probably go 5 minutes in giving you the history of Coca-Cola without any notes, and you'd be like, yeah, my professor is a geek. But anyhow, in the early 1980s, Coke came out with Diet Coke, same Diet Coke that you see today, because they needed something that people who were weight conscious didn't want the full sugar of regular Coke, and so they came out with Diet Coke. And I didn't start drinking Diet Coke until the early 90s because regular Coke tastes better. It's just a fact. But what's relevant here is that in the mid 90s, Coke decided to come out with Coke Zero. Okay. Now, when a company comes out with a product that is going to directly compete with an existing product, their fear is what's called cannibalizing. If all that happens is people who are currently drinking Diet Coke switch to Coke Zero, then Coke gains nothing. So the word cannibal in normal English simply means that a human being eating another human being. But in the business world, cannibalizing means that you have an existing product that a new product is going to cut into its sales. So when they came out with Coke Zero, I tasted it and immediately stopped buying Diet Coke because, in my opinion, Coke Zero tastes way better than Diet Coke. But it only makes sense for Coke to have done that if Coke Zero can attract customers that Diet Coke couldn't. And in fact, it has been very successful for Coke Zero because men, for whatever reason, don't like buying a product that says Diet Coke. So they will be willing to buy something that says Coke Zero. And it's been a very successful product for Coke. And you know the term cannibalization now. I paused the recording because the call to prayer came. Every company, when they come out with a new product, is concerned about cannibalizing. And so it is a fact that Coke Zero brought new sales to Coke. And so it was a good decision for them to come out with Coke Zero. Coke has had a lot of failed products. Like they've had one where they mix coffee with Coke. I think I was the only person who bought it. So that product lasted about a year and they stopped it. But I will be using Coke in Apple products throughout the semester because that's where I know you guys will remember what I have to say. What made the iPhone such an incredibly brave, scary, whatever product for Apple was the fact that before they came out with the iPhone, they were already having incredible success with the iPod. So coming out with a phone, if the original iPhone had come out and the original iPhone was terrible, that would have hurt Apple's brand. So it was a dangerous move on Apple's part to put basically an iPod onto a phone. It's worked out great for them. You know, the most successful product in world history is the iPhone. So congratulations, Apple. But don't think for a second that Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, Johnny Ive, the real masterminds behind the iPhone, they were very aware how dangerous what they were doing was. And yeah, anyhow, your word of the day is cannibalize.